There is a dirty little secret that no one warns you about when you embark on the great journey of motherhood. It's awful, and it's difficult to talk about. But I want to warn those of you who may someday go through it too. I want to help those after me, because isn't that what we mothers do? We look after each other. So let me start at the beginning. I was thrilled to find out I was pregnant with my first child. But from the very beginning, it was a difficult pregnancy. At only 8 weeks, we were told we might lose our baby. Then, several weeks later, I went to the bathroom and stood up to find that I had hemorrhaged into the toilet. I'm talking horror show amounts of blood. What was wrong with me? Was I going to lose my baby? In a panic, I called my husband and then I rushed off in tears to the doctor, who sat me down in his office, looked down at me from his dignified perch, and uttered the word that would haunt me far beyond those 9 months. Hemorrhoids. Come again? Hemorrhoids, he repeated. Are they dangerous? No, the doctor chuckled. They aren't dangerous, and they'll probably go away all on their own after the baby is born. And lo, the doctor was right. After that first bout of intense bleeding, my rear end calmed down. But my pregnancy heated up. Our preemie was born via emergency C-section, and after what felt like an eternity in the NICU, we brought home our delicate, beautiful, and terrifying son. I had no time to think about anything else but my firstborn, certainly not my butthole. I was too busy wiping his. So 2 glorious years passed, and the hemorrhoids were forgotten, having slowly disappeared into the depths from whence they'd come. But ladies and gentlemen, what is the first lesson of a horror movie? Never turn your back on the monster. Never let down your guard. At the end of those carefree years, I became pregnant with my second child. And then the beast awoke. If I thought my first showdown with the hemorrhoids had been bad, I was a fool. When the monster returned, he was angry and out for revenge. You see, my daughter was eager to enter the world that March. She was in position and setting off fireworks of serious contractions for a week. But I was busy. We were moving 2 states away, and we were finally signing papers on a new house. I had no time for this today. So I held on while the pressure mounted. 12 hours later, I was in the hospital. I had contractions every minute for over 7 hours. But I took no pain meds because I was in control and going natural. Unfortunately, my cervix would not dilate, and the pressure was unbearable. There was a head in my vagina. My own daughter was working in tandem with the beast. Finally, at 6 a.m., I just gave up the heroics and begged for an epidural. Ironically, within minutes, I was ready to push. My mother held one leg, and my husband held the other, and the nurse held a mirror for me. I could see the head, and another head, and another head. What are those? I asked. The doctor peered up from his gory task. Hemorrhoids. And with that, the mirror was swept away, for my daughter was coming in earnest, and she was bringing company. I watched the faces of my mom and my husband as I pushed. Is everything okay? A big smile came across both their faces. She's almost out, one more push. And again, the look of revulsion. What? Are the hemorrhoids bad? I said. My mom and my husband shifted their eyes to one another. Oh, no. They're fine. Then the whirlwind. My baby was here. The joy, the tears, the laughter, and the bliss. But once the hubbub died down, my husband and my mother looked at me together with long faces. It was time for them to address what had been on their minds for some time. What? I asked. Oh, honey, my mother said. But my darling husband broke in. Oh my God, those hemorrhoids are insane, like balloons. You know, they do have surgery to help with those, my mother continued. Jesus, I thought, how bad can they be? It certainly couldn't feel anything due to all those glorious drugs numbing my nether regions. Besides, I wasn't worried. They go away on their own, right? Well, eventually painkillers do wear off. It's almost 6 years later and I still don't sit the same way. I've had to get rid of all of my sexy thongs. There has been serious talk of surgery, but recovery is long, and I don't have time for that. You see, 6 years ago, I did not give birth just to a daughter, but triplets. Frank and Francine are her siblings that have not yet managed to break free from Mama. Oh, yes, those little monsters, they got their revenge.